I had thought somebody said council president. Okay, I am officially now opening up our finance meeting. It's February 3rd, 6:10, not too bad. I would ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And how about Council Member Conley Wilson lead it? Oh, you did last time. I won't do that to you. How about Council Member Ash McPherson lead us in the pledge? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember Ash McPherson. We'll do a quick roll call. Councilmember Gully.
I am here.
Councilmember Ash McPherson.
I'm here.
Councilmember Steele.
Finally present.
Thank you. Councilmember Men.
Present.
Councilmember Conley Wilson.
Present.
And Councilmember Soriento.
Here.
Council President Mantello. I am here. All 7 are present. Presentation of the agenda. We have 1 ordinance. We have 3 resolutions. We're going to go right into the public forum. And I would ask Maria to let 3 folks, I think you do it 3 at a time, and then you'll do 1 at a time. Okay, so I believe we have James Messiah Luce Bembo and Ken Zalewski.
They're not here. So
Okay.
hold on, let me just see.
And just so folks are aware, we didn't distinguish the finance and the regular apologies. So stating that we didn't know who was signed up for the finance, who was signed up for the regular. So now the folks are here. So why don't you let 3 of the
Okay.
folks that are here, and if you could give their names and then do 1 at a time.
Okay, I'm gonna bring Dylan over, and then also Luz is here and Ellie as well.
Okay, so let's bring Dylan in.
Okay.
Dylan Reese. Hi, Dylan. Not here yet. And just so you're aware, I'm going to shoot for March 3rd, the regular meeting. Hi, Dylan.
Can you hear me?
We sure can. Hello, Dylan. You have joined the City Council Finance Public Forum. We welcome you, and you have 4 minutes, and take it away. Thank you. Actually, 5 minutes. I apologize.
Yeah, excellent. I wanted to speak with regard to the settlement for Demeke McDonald, which is on the agenda tonight. I wanted to say that I'm glad that Demeke McDonald is getting a settlement with regard to the incident that occurred. However, I think many of us in the community are dismayed at the number of times that the city has had to resort to settlements of this type in response to excessive use of force complaints with regard to our police. Not only are these settlements costly for the city, they also do very little to address the underlying issue of excessive use of force and what it does for the relationship between the police and the community. I wanted to point out the fact that the community group Justice for Demeke formed in response to the incident regarding Demeke McDonald and later changed its name to Troy for Black Lives. And they organized a large protest last year, but I also wanted to reiterate, since this is a public forum, the demands of that group, which are as follows. The demands are: cops stop killing us and our children, all right? Demand a newly formed civilian review board with subpoena power and representation of no less than 60% of people most impacted by violence and police violence, BIPOC, at the intersection of LGBTQIA, young people and people with disabilities, and formerly incarcerated people. A full and impartial investigation of every instance or use of deadly force by a police officer, whether or not it results in a death, and whether or not the victim is alleged to have been armed, Where there is evidence of abuse, a vigorous grand jury presentation and prosecution must occur. The disentanglement of county government with ICE, making Troy a sanctuary city. Next demands the appointment of the Attorney General as an independent investigator and prosecutor in all cases of the use of deadly force. And finally, the exploration and creation of diversification programs away from criminal justice involvement to community-based treatment alternatives. So this series of police reform and criminal justice related demands was issued, I believe it was 2 years ago. And then in 2020, we saw 11,000 people march in Troy for the March for Black Lives, which was organized by the group Troy for Black Lives. And I know that Mayor Madden responded to that very large mobilization by acknowledging that there was still a great need for addressing issues of police brutality and racial justice in the city of Troy. And then we had the police reform, or I'm actually forgetting the exact name of the committee, but it was the Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative formed with community members, and it issued a report, which is at, for anyone who doesn't know, troynewyork.gov/policerrc. It released 11 recommendations on police reform in Troy. And so, having said all of this, my question to City Council, and I believe Mayor Madden is here as well, is what progress, if any, do you plan to make in the next 2 years on the recommendations of the Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative, as well as the demands of Troy for Black Lives and other community groups with regard to issues of police brutality in the city of Troy that led to the incident with Demeke McDonald, as well as many other incidents? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dylan. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Okay. Next on the list, Maria, I'll ask you to bring Luce in.
Hold on one second.
Yep. And then Dylan, you have to.
Yep, I'll take care of it.
Perfect. Thanks again, Dylan. Thank you. Hi, Luz. We're just, Maria just has to swap Dylan out.
Okay,
Thank you.
just let me know when to start.
Sure. Is it not working, Maria?
I'm clicking it. It's not doing it.
Okay, Luz, take it away. It's no, still. We'll work on that, but go ahead, Luz, you're in. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, happy Black History Month to all of you. And thank you to the person who spoke before me, because they took a lot of things that hopefully I won't run out of time and say. But I'm here representing, of course, Troy for Black Lives. We were formed literally around Demeke McDonald's case. And so we wanted to express our support of Demeke McDonald's acceptance of this settlement, given the violence that he experienced at the hands of the Troy police. But we're here also to urge you again that as our city council, you engage the mayor in forming a civilian review board with subpoena power, and one that has over 60% of the representation be by folks most impacted by such violence. We heard just recently at the mayor's city address that he convened some committee, but I don't know where the transparency is, and I don't know who's on it. I don't know what they're doing, and the public needs to know. And you, as our city council, can urge him to speak about that and to share what that looks like. We know that you hold that power to do that, and hopefully You've got new blood on the city council. We're happy to see Kiani with you, city council member Kiani with you. But as we historically have always had a Black woman on alone, we hope that folks who are listening to my voice know that that means that we need to support city council member Kiani. But we urge each of you to please urge the mayor to do something. Last year, we provided you all with a 10-point civilian review board plan. The year before that, we did it. And in 2018, we did it. That 10-point civilian review plan goes as follows. It basically says the Civilian Review Board will promote the welfare and well-being of all the members of the community it affects in a just and unbiased, transparent way. The Civilian Review Board should represent more than 60% majority of people of color. The formation of a 9-member Civilian Review Board that is evenly comprised of 3 members, which may be appointed by the mayor, 3 to be appointed by you all as a city council as a majority vote, and 3 to be appointed by community representatives selected by the community it serves, who represent the cultural makeup of the people most impacted by law enforcement and who live and engage with the community. A civilian review board that will improve the communication between the police department and the community to increase police accountability and credibility with the public, and to create a complaint review process that is free from bias, ensures the safety of the folks making complaints, and informed of actual police practices. The inclusion of a Justice for Damiq committee or Troy for Black Lives, as we are now, as members of a pre-committee in the formation and selection of the vetting process for this 9-member civilian review board. Additionally, Troy for Black Lives committee will also be involved in establishing the fundamental structure and policies under which the review board will operate. The civilian review board will have the power to investigate complaints, interview officers and other relevant personnel, and examine relevant reports, notes, and documents in real time. Number 7, the Civilian Review Board will meet with the mayor and the city council and the police chief to make recommendations for actions regarding corrective measures and disciplinary incentive measures. Civilian Review Board structure, which includes implementation of anonymous identification system for officers involved in allegations and/or charges of abuse, brutality, shootings, or behaviors unbecoming of an officer which result in an alleged complaint or investigation of said officers. It goes on to 9 and 10. I'll just do shorthand because we've given you this since 2018. We literally did all of this work for you and have given you all this language. A civilian review board, number 9, a civilian review board with the authority to review all complaints substantiated or otherwise lodged against officers for substantive issues of credibility and consideration for further civilian review board review recommendations. The Civilian Review Board will have the authority to resubmit civilian complaints and issues upon carrying out the duties, and it goes on. We really urge you to do this. We today you all are going to make a decision to approve such settlement to Damiq McDonald's case. But since 2008, we've had more than 2 cases per year where Troy continues to settle on these cases, when in fact, there's so much you can do to prevent these cases to begin with, which is if you as a city council hold the mayor accountable, if the mayor as our chief in office as a government here in the city holds the police accountable, and you work to establish a system that protects Black lives. And then lastly, last year, just after the governor's mandate of the 203, Mayor Madden developed a plan and you all approved it. And we haven't heard anything about that plan. Even in his city council address, there was minimal mention in that plan and the work that the Khalil Jameson folks offered to do for free. And so we need to know it's not enough just to keep settling. Yes, that's important. Families like Damiq need to be able to rebuild from the post-traumatic stress that he has received from the harm at the hands of police. But there are ways to prevent this to begin with. And I know you all don't want to sit here and continue to approve settlements, and we don't want to sit here and continue to pressure you all. So please, let's be proactive. It's a brand new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Luz. Thank you again. Okay, Maria, we are next going to go to, let's see, I apologize, Ellie.
Hello, City Council. Thanks so
Hi,
much.
Ellie. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. You have 5 minutes and take it away. Thank you.
I'll start by saying thanks to Luz and Dylan for those thorough comments. I'm here to talk about the same issue. I'll be a lot more brief, but I'm very glad that the two of them expressed that kind of in-depth history and research around this stuff. So yeah, I'm Ellie. I live on 9th Street in Troy. I'm here in response to the settlement on today's agenda. As you know, Richard Morrissey, Corporation Counsel, is seeking approval of the City of Troy Jared Eiler settlement in relationship to the 2017 police shooting of Dominic McDonald. So like Luce and Dylan, I am glad that Dominic and his family are receiving this settlement. That's important. And I'm really relieved that he is alive to do so, unlike Edson Thevenin, whose family received a settlement in August 2021. But the language in the settlement, as with the Thevenin case, is a disturbing indication that the city and the police departments have an ongoing refusal to take any responsibility whatsoever for these egregious acts of violence, force, and in the Thevenin case, murder committed against community members, especially Black community members, by the Troy Police Department. I last spoke to you on the topic of policing in Troy in May of 2021, when you were in the process of approving funding for additional officers. At that time, I expressed a lot of concerns around the expansion of the department. I continue to hold those concerns for a lot of reasons, but one of them is, of course, because City and Troy PD continue to resist accountability measures, as evidenced in the language of today's settlement, and also because many questions that community members have bringing up again and again, as Luz said, these have been put before you for quite some time, continue to not be answered. There's a lot of lack of transparency. For example, on these questions, where's the publicly shared policy on body cams? Really want to know about this. Where's the publicly shared policy on police communications? Where's the publicly shared policy and updates on the Troy PD acquisition of military grade weaponry, the LRAD, approved in August of last year? And as Luz referred to, what are the public updates and goings on of the board? Which seems has been meeting, but we don't have information about it. The public really deserves to understand how this body is operating. As we explored thoroughly over the last year in a series of meetings hosted by the Rensselaer Center for Law and Justice, I think we can say that systemic racism is present within the Troy PD, and the PRRC process did little to change that fact. And I'm just going to quote Luz, as activist and advocate and Troy for Black Lives member, Luz Marquez Benbow said at last year's event marking the 5-year anniversary of Edson Thevenin's murder, "If you want to stop gun violence, stop white supremacy." Yes, without a systemic overhaul to uproot systemic racism, business as usual, aggravated by additional armed municipal officers on our streets and sidewalks as the city expands the force, just amplifies the possibility for more tragedies like the murder of Edson Thevenin and the shooting of Dominic McDonald, leading to more settlements like the one that you're asked to approve today. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much, Ellie. Thank you. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you. Okay, next, James is with us. James Cooper. James Messiah Cooper. Hi, James. You are with the Troy City Council Finance meeting. You're on mute. And I'm not sure if you want to put your video on or not.
I'm trying to get it right. Hold on.
Okay, no problem.
Can you hear me?
We sure can. If you go in the right-hand box, you'll see 3 dots. If you scroll down, stop video, or I'm sorry, it will say start video. Mine says stop because I'm on video. Start video, you should be okay. There you are.
You got me?
We
You have
have
me?
you. We have you. Thank you for joining us, James. You're with the City
Well-
Council Finance and you have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Yes, well, thank you for having me. Unfortunately, we're in a trying time right now. I get up every day and I see things that relate to cancel culture, which means, okay, if we tell the truth, it's wrong. The truth of the matter is that we have to do better as a community. But starting with our city council members, our mayor, and our police officers, and our community, we all have to do better. But I hold the mayor to a higher standard than I hold a member of my community, because he's the mayor. He has power, as well as I hold the police more accountable. Baby girl, I have it. Yes, so I hold them more accountable than the regular people in the community, although they are held to account as well. I commend you on the settlement, but I look back and say, okay, you choose to settle, but you say the officer done nothing wrong. And I just can't see that, because he tried to take a life. Now, but then you hold our babies to a higher accountability than you do grown-ups. Our babies go before you and go before that district attorney, Mary Pat Donnelly, and she holds them to a higher standard than she holds the children. You understand? The children are held pretty much, their lives are taken from them. The law protects them in no kind of way, but then the law protects grown-ups that commit the same heinous acts. And if you stand complicit in allowing a man to commit murder, then you yourself is a part of that murder. You hold some responsibility to the murder. Although you settle with Edson Thevenard's wife, you can't bring back his life. You can't bring back the pain of my family that we felt and what we went through as a family. On that very day, I was to the point of giving my very life if my nephew lost his. Then where would we be? Because you wouldn't be talking to me right now. So we have to do better. The mayor has to do better. Just recently, the young man that lost his life on 6th Avenue, Shane, I see that you for photo op, you planted a tree in his honor, and then sold the only community center we had in this area ever. Sold the building instead of opening up a community center to save the lives of some of the children in his name. And it's like, when are you people gonna care about us? When are we gonna matter truly? My heart aches because I say, how can people that lack compassion for other people be in charge of them? Just recently, they said, right in RPI, they're handing out pamphlets to the Minuteman and all these other terrorist organizations right on RPI campus. And probably nobody's going to be held accountable for it because it's okay. It's who's doing it that matters. And it seems to be okay. It's okay if a police officer beats someone to death or shoots them or murders them because he's a police officer. He has the right. But now a child that commits a heinous act because he's going through growing pains and feels like the world don't understand him and don't want him in it, you rob him of his very life.
James, you have about a minute left. I'm going to ask you to wrap it up, okay?
I will.
Thank you.
I will. I just asked that you start to search, look into your hearts. Because if things don't change, it's only going to get worse. It's going to get worse. So we need to look at some things we could do to change this behavior, to solve some of the problems, to save some of the lives of these kids. Give them something to do other than hang on the damn corner, because there's nothing to do in the city of Troy for them, nothing. They're followed home from school and followed to school by the police and harassed by them. So they have no faith in the police. They fear the police. Instead of them looking at the police as, you know what I'm saying, righteous people. And then same goes for this community, this Detroit City Council. I mean, because if you turn a blind eye, you're part of the problem. That's how I look at it. I mean, and we must do better.
Yep. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm not sure if you're scheduled to speak, but you can speak again at the regular, obviously. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have, I believe, Patrick, or I'm sorry, yes, correct, Maria? We have Sean, sorry. Okay, Patrick. Hi, Patrick. You're with the Troy City Council Finance. Welcome. You are on mute and no picture. And Maria, we still have James. So Patrick, if you want to take your mute off. Maria, James is still here. You see that?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay,
Great. Hi, Patrick.
actually, the regular meeting, not the finance meeting.
Okay, we'll
Sorry.
see you. It will probably start a little bit later. We haven't gone into the legislation yet,
Yep.
but thank you.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Patrick. Okay, and then last on the list, I believe we have Sean, correct? Can you, Seamus, go help Maria? Okay, Patrick's gone, but James is still in. I know. Just so folks know, it's glitching to get the folks out of the Zoom. So Maria, if you want to grab Sean. Thank you. Hi, Sean. You're with the Troy City Council Finance Committee, and I welcome you. There you are. Hi, good to see you.
Hey, oh, try to fix that there. Sorry.
There we
Thanks.
go. Perfect. You have 5 minutes, Sean, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I probably won't take all 5 minutes because I will not speak anywhere as near well and passionately as any of the previous speakers spoke before me on the same issue I'd like to talk about, and I'm glad they did. And Yeah, I mean, like I said, I agree with everything all the other speakers said. I think it's important. I am concerned about the lack of oversight with both this police overview review committee, the PORB, and what's happening with that. You know, like I'm like, oh, there's a website. I remember there being a website, and you click on the videos and you click on the first couple and they're there, and then they just stop, and that's very disconcerting. I just want to say I am happy, just like all the other speakers, that Demik got the settlement for what happened to him. And yeah, it's sad that we have to continue this cycle of police violence against the people of this community. I think it's important that we have to remember, and it's just getting lost every day, that the police serve us as a community. And as such, they are beholden to us as the community. We give them a lot of responsibility in what they do, and especially in holding firearms and having the ability to take lives of community members. And in that, they must be 100% accountable and beholden to the community. And more, that is going away these days in even the most basic ways. As has been mentioning, there is no oversight. There's nothing transparent about what has happened with the LRAD weapon system, on body cams, on communications. And that is completely unacceptable, that we are allowing an armed force within this democratic free society to do that. And it creates situations where Demik has to face this violence. And again, I'm just happy that the settlement has been reached. This is going to keep on happening until we have these accountabilities. And again, so much has been said, I don't want to repeat it. So I think maybe an important thing is, as we develop a oversight, police review board, oversight board, they have to have teeth. That we have to be able to investigate and hold the police accountable. And that means a review board has to have teeth to it. And I think maybe a good thing for the mayor's office and for the city council to take up and take seriously is giving, as has been mentioned in the call for Troy for Black Lives, it must have subpoena power. It must have subpoena power over the police. And I think that is something that I hope city council could pass and approve and get forward to bring more democracy to this city. And if not, I think that as the population of Troy, I think that's something we should work forward to fight for, in some way, whether, through the city council or through some sort of electoral process, that we find ways to hold the police accountable. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, Maria, anyone else?
I don't think,
Okay.
no.
All right. We are going to go into the agenda of the finance and ordinance 6. I'm going to read it. And at the request of the Corporation Council, we've been asked to vote on going into executive session. So I am going to read the ordinance, take a motion, a second, and then we will take a vote to go into executive session. Ordinance 6, ordinance authorizing settlement of claim to wit Demik McDonald, plaintiff 5, the city of Troy, et al., defendants, U.S. District Court, Northern District of New York, civil action number 118CV1327, DUH/CFH. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion. Councilmember Gully, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Now I would like to make a motion to go into executive session. So I will make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully. All in favor of going into executive session? Aye. Is anyone opposed? Okay, executive session passes 7-0. Folks, we will be going into executive session and we will be back as soon as possible. Thank you.
I just have a question, a quick question.
Councilmember Ash McPherson.
Do we close this window
Yes.
here? completely shut out of it.
I'm putting mine on mute and I'm taking the picture off. Maria has been instructed to put a sign for any of the public that might tune in and didn't hear of our executive session vote. And Maria will be putting a sign on the screen for the public.
So
Okay,
if I just mute this and take my picture down, I can open the other one? You're on mute.
I'm gonna use my phone for the other Zoom, the executive
So does
session.
anybody have that answer? I just
I
never did this.
believe if you're, I don't know if you're on using the same device for 2 Zoom sessions, if you can mute one and unmute the other.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to use my phone. I don't think you can use the same, I know you can't, I tried it. You can't use the same device for 2 Zooms.
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave.
Yep,
I only have
Okay.
this. I'm gonna leave.
okay.
Yeah, I
okay.
can always resend the links.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
I will just ask folks, please text me if you can't get back in, okay?
Let
We're
me know
going
too,
into
please.
executive. We'll see everyone in executive session. Thank Thanks, Seamus. Thank you. Hi, everyone. We'll just wait for everyone to come back and join us. Okay. Maria will be taking this down any second. There we go. Let me get this. Okay. We need to, I believe, we need to, we are done with executive session. We can now get back to the legislation. Seamus, I'm echoing. Can you turn off your, I can hear myself through yours. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Oh, the earplugs. I got you. Okay. Welcome back, council. And thank you again, Andy, for taking care of that. We are done with executive session. We're gonna go right into the legislation. And our first is Ordinance 6. Ordinance authorizing, we have a motion, we have a second. I apologize. We have already done that. Is there discussion? Okay, I'm going to take a slow roll. Councilmember Gully,
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
Yes.
Councilmember Mann,
Yes. Yes.
Councilmember Conley Wilson,
Yes.
Councilmember Soriento,
Yes.
Council President Mantello, yes. 7 ayes, 0 noes. Ordinance 6 passes. Resolution
What?
21.
Come on, me.
I'm sorry. Oh, Councilmember Gully, you are not on mute. I take it you're calling your dog?
Yeah, I've gotten blocked out of the room and they're scratching at my door. They miss me so much. So I apologize. I thought I was on mute.
I was doing that to, please, Councilmember Gully, come back. Resolution 21, resolution commending the Troy Fire and Police Departments, Council President Mantello, Councilmember Gully, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Soriento, and obviously this is open to everyone. We would be happy to add anyone else who would like to co-sponsor this resolution. Feel free to let me know. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Councilmember Gully, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. I'm going to hold this one in terms of reading and all that. We do have some visitors with us. So we'll save it obviously for the regular. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution 21 carries 7-0. Resolution 22, resolution appointing Commissioner of Deeds for the City of Troy, Council President Mantello. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Gully. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution 22 carries 7-0. Resolution 23, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with Capital Region BOCES for the provision of information technology and cybersecurity services to the city. City Council President, Council President Mantello at the request of the administration. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Councilmember Gully. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Steele. Discussion. Andy, I know that this is very technical. I believe you had said it's one of the first of its kind, the Capital Region BOCES. I am hoping that potentially this will fix some of the glitches that I've been experiencing as of late. And I see that Rick Morrissey has his hand up. Rick.
Just wanted to tell you all that the exhibit attached, the contract exhibit is a red line version. However, since we drafted the legislation, it has been, it's reached a more final form.
Thank you. Is there anything substantial, Rick?
No, there's
Go ahead.
one clause that we agree to disagree on, but it's not material, really.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Further questions, discussion? Andy, and how much is this for? I apologize.
So I don't have the exact dollar amount in front of me. I apologize. It's attached. It's a variety of services, 12,300, 17.
I think that's what you had said.
About $17,000 to $20,000. There are some recurring expenditures that are part of this that was incorporated into the 2022 general fund budget. The one-time expenditures that are part of the agreement are part of the $250,000 appropriation from the American Rescue Plan approved in 2021.
Okay.
Just to provide some context, this is the first intermunicipal agreement for shared services that Capital Region BOCES is entering into with a local government. This is the result of about 2.5 years of work with Capital Region BOCES, where we have looked at opportunities to increase efficiencies. It's a realm that they're looking to get into, and they approached us to see if it was something we were interested in. We've looked at a variety of different avenues that we could use them for. This is one that we have worked out an arrangement with that's viable and a benefit to both parties. The procurement on this, I just want to know why it's called an intermunicipal agreement, is that Capital Region BOCES under general municipal law is recognized as a local government entity, which is why it is defined in such terms. The reason why it is being brought forward this evening is it is imperative to get our cybersecurity insurance renewed. Quinn's been working on this for well over a year, but there are requirements to get our cybersecurity insurance renewed in March, specifically the multi-factor authentication that is part of this agreement. They will be doing a lot with the email servers and securing them. It falls in line with Quinn's goals over the course of the last 2 years. So it really is a partnership we've worked very well with them to get to this point, and I see nothing but benefits moving forward into the future with them.
Thank you, Andy. Any?
Council President?
Yes, Councilmember Ash McPherson.
I just have one question. Andy, do you think this will stop all of us getting the messages from the mayor asking us to do him a special favor?
I could only hope so.
Because I'm really tired of those messages.
Yeah, new people had no idea, Council President. Sorry about that. Funny.
Oh, yeah, and for the new folks, I actually recently received 2 or 3. We're getting spammed by the mayor. Can you do me a favor?
I'm in a meeting and I really need you to help me. Can you call me right now?
Council President.
Yes, Councilmember Mann.
I wanted to pass a compliment on to Quinn. He helped me get some of my Luddite tendencies sorted out.
Mhm.
And he happened to mention the cybersecurity and its impact on our insurance and bond rating and all that kind of stuff. And how great to have, a member of our IT team who can like explain how this one little component ties into so many different things. So I just really wanted to acknowledge him for taking the time out of his day. That's all.
Okay. Andy, on the contract, I notice it's ending in a month, March 4th. Is that accurate? 2022? Period of performance, February 1st, 2022 through March 4th, 2022. Like
That may be in there. I can double check it tomorrow with Rick and BOCES themselves, but that, if I were to guess, is a part of the insurance renewal, because that's how quick the turnaround is on this. I'm sure we will do more with them other than a month, because Quinn has a lot of goals to achieve with them. That term more than likely is specific to the email migration related services that they will provide.
Oh, that's kind of confusing because it says agreement to perform consulting services and the
Council
service-
President?
Yes, Rick.
On page 1 of the actual contract, I think it says the term of the agreement begins on February 17th, 2022 and terminates on February 16th, 2025.
Awesome. Okay.
The
So
attachment may not
Gotcha.
be completely consistent with that, but that clause is the actual length of the agreement.
Got it. Yep, I see it. Number 1. Very good. I'm like, for a month, 12 grand. And yeah, obviously. Okay, cool. Thank you. Andy, is that a hand up or?
It is. So then, thank you for clarifying that. So then that term that you were reading, those services are the cybersecurity insurance related items that we have to get done by that date.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, resolution 23 carries 7-0. I will take a motion to adjourn, and I'd like to go right into the regular because we have a visitor here with us. Is there a motion to adjourn? Excuse me. Who was that? I apologize. Motion, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Soriento beat you by a millisecond. Okay, Councilmember Soriento seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, finance has closed. We're going to go right into the regular. I'll ask everyone to first stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And how about Councilmember Gully lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully. Maria, let's do roll call.
Okay, Councilmember Gully,
Here.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Present.
Councilmember Steele,
Present.
Councilmember Men,
Present.
Councilmember Conley Wilson,
Present.
Councilmember Soriento,
Here.
and Council President Mantello.
I am still here.
All right. All right, 7 present.
Very good. Presentation, we have lots. We did just have a finance, so all the finance that was passed will be carried over to the regular meeting. I'm going to switch this up out of the courtesy of the folks that are here. There's a snowstorm pending. I'd like to get them out of here. And before that, I would ask everyone, I would like to take a moment of silence. As we all know, Sean Davis, we lost last year, and his family has been through tremendous heartache. And this past week, Latoya Alston, his mom, passed away. And I'd like to take a moment of silence on behalf of Sean's family, and a moment of silence for Latoya. Okay, thank you. We are going to put resolution 21 before the good news. So I'm going to get that rolling. Maria, can you please read resolution 21? You're on mute.
Resolution 21, commending the Troy Fire and Police Departments. Council President Mantello, Councilmember Gully, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Soriento.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Councilmember Men. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson, by millisecond, Councilmember Soriento. All right. We have some incredible folks. I thought you were bringing your children. Okay. Hold on one second, and we'll get this rolling. Put my mask on. We have Rich Bellamy with us, folks. I'm going to go over here with Rich. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Rich Bellamy, and there were so many folks who were involved in this incredible. I apologize, Seamus.
I muted you.
Maria muted you, Carm.
Thank you.
Turn your volume down.
I hate Zoom. Thank you for your patience, folks. I'd like to read this. And, we talked about earlier our law enforcement, our first responders, and the incredible dedication and work that they have with our city, for our city. And we're with one incredible hero and lots of heroes who I'm also going to mention. But Rich Bellamy is with us. Whereas on the 23rd day of January 2022, a distraught individual threatened to jump from the seawall into the ice cold waters of the Hudson River at Riverfront Park. And whereas specially trained and equipped members of the Troy Police Department and the Troy Fire Department quickly responded to this life-threatening emergency. And whereas, despite attempts to talk him down, the distraught person did in fact jump into the freezing waters. And whereas, firefighter Richard Bellamy, in a special wetsuit, jumped in after the person and was able to rig a harness and secure the person so that the other fire and police personnel could haul both of them to safety. And whereas the on-scene members of the Troy Police Department and Troy Fire Department, working as a team, rescued the person from the frigid waters of the Hudson River and transported him to Samaritan Hospital, where he recovered from hypothermia and shock. Now therefore be it resolved that the Troy City Council does hereby pause in its deliberations to commend its police and fire emergency responders for their courage, their dedication, their commitment to duty, and especially for a job very well done. I'd like to mention the team, Troy Police and the firefighters that were on scene. Battalion Chief Eric Koblenzer, Rescue Squad Captain Patrick Shaw, our firefighter Richard Bellamy, firefighter Alexander Kako, Engine 2 Captain Adam Tuftegard, Lieutenant Daniel Bornhorst, firefighter Chadwick Novus, Truck 2 Lieutenant Adam Manning, firefighter Noah Sipperly, Medic 3 Captain James Tidings, Captain Christopher Bertrand, Troy Police Officer Sergeant Christopher Rasmussen, Patrol Officer Connor Adams, Corey Barton, David Batchelder, Michael Borden, Dean Mahunik, and Samantha Rivet. These folks are incredible people. Richard risked his life for a total stranger, and that's what you do day in and day out, that we take for granted. And I and the City Council want to thank you, thank the Troy Police, thank our Troy firefighters for a job incredibly well done. And I know you're probably embarrassed even being here because that's not what you're looking for when you jumped into that river. Wasn't for a pat on the back, it was to save a life. And you didn't even think for a second about yourself. A true hero. We love our Troy firefighters and our Troy Police, and we thank you for your dedication, your passion, your commitment to protecting the residents of Troy. Thank you. Richard, and I know the chief is with us, and I know Eric Wisher and the folks over at the hall are also with us. Would you like to say a few words? Go ahead, please. See, that's what it's all about. We want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Have you visited the gentleman since he recovered?
I have not, but his fiance reached out to me and said he's recovering well and getting help that he needs.
That's fabulous, fantastic. It's just, you know, it's a tough time to be a first responder. And, you know, like I said earlier, a lot of folks, we take you for granted. And it's our part to say thank you. And that's all we can say from the bottom of our hearts. Richard, you're a true hero. And I know you don't think of yourself that way, but we thank you, and you are a hero to us. Thank you very, very much for your service and your dedication.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would the chief like to join us? Say anything, Chief McMahon? I know you're with us. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah.
Chief McMahon.
Hello, everybody. I just want to reach out and just thank the city council members for recognizing our guys. Excuse me, for recognizing our guys. These guys, this is something that you know, our guys are willing to do this each and every single day. They are out there for the family, for the individuals on people's worst day. And I just want to thank you. I just want to thank the administration for all the support that you give the fire department. Thank you so much. And Richie, congratulations. You're well deserved, Rich. Well, he's a man of very few words. So it's you know, the fact that you got him to say anything, I was a little surprised about.
Well, and he's joined by a couple of friends, Diane, Mark Wojcik, and I know that you go way back, and thank you for joining us. And I'd love to open it up to the city council. Would you like to add anything for Rich, folks?
Council President.
Okay, I believe Councilmember Mann.
No, that was Steele.
For Steele, I can't see. I'm so sorry.
Well, and that's part of what I want to say. It's really unfortunate that we can't be there in person. For some reason, Council President is able to do that, but we remotely want you to know how much we appreciate what you're doing and what you did in this particular instance. So this message is coming from all of us, and we so appreciate your work day in, day out, night in, night out for all of us. Thank you.
Awesome. And, just for the public out there, I tried to have the council meet in person back in November, back in December. And unfortunately, certain council members, including Councilmember Steele, did not want to do that out of precaution, out of safety. So for the folks out there, out of safety and precaution, we all know the Omicron variant, saying all of that. Hopefully by March, that's our goal, to be in person. Obviously, Zoom has some fun technology hurdles and obstacles. Would any other council member like to add some positive?
Council President,
Yes, Councilmember Gully.
we hear a lot of people speak about our police, depending what their situation is. They talk high, they talk low of them. Our firefighters, anybody in uniform seems to have this video target on their back every time they try to help the public. I just like to say that when these individuals go out with that badge on and our uniforms on, they really don't think about themselves. They think about everything around them, all of us, our communities, the people around. And when they're called to do something really drastic, as firefighter Bellamy was called to do, yeah, listen, I'm not really afraid of much, but I don't know if I could ever keep up with what they have to deal with and what they have to do, especially in those emergency situations. And some of the things they have to see with their eyes and embrace in their minds after these instances can be detrimental for years afterwards, as you think about some of the horrific scenes they face. I just like to say you do a great job, a job I probably couldn't do. And I'm honored and proud that you're serving us and your teams are serving us, and you're here for the community. I know some people might not realize that, but you are here for the community. And I really respect everything you go through to do the job you have to do. And I could never jump in that cold water. I can't hardly swim. So God bless you, man. Hey, thank you for doing that.
Well, in 80-degree weather, what are you talking about?
Council President.
Yes, Councilmember Men. Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Ash McPherson.
Thank you. I just would like to express our thank you from all of the council and all of us sitting here. I unfortunately have seen where our firemen and our police are called on a scene and they didn't get the results that they were hoping for. And as Councilman Gully said, the things that they see and do, they have to deal with it daily. I don't think I could. This resolution here commending you guys for going into an area and coming out with a positive result of saving someone's life and seeing the fruits of your work in that respect. That is something to be very proud of. And I know you guys don't look for all that. You go out into the danger and you do what you need to do to try to save the lives. And this was a life that you saved. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Anyone else?
Council President.
Yes, Councilmember Men.
Soriento.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Councilmember Soriento. This is horrible. Sorry.
I just want to say thank you so much for putting yourselves, risking your lives every day, every night, putting yourselves in all sorts of dangerous conditions every day to help the community out. And I'm so glad that this was a very positive outcome with saving person's life. But you all have an absolute thankless job, and I can't say thank you enough for all that you do. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilmember Soriento. Sorry.
Council President.
Yes, Councilmember Men. I got it right.
I also want to say thank you. And, I know the last 2 years has been a challenge for everyone around the entire world. And, it's had an effect on our mental health. And, I think everyone has had those moments where they felt that incredible sorrow and despair. And, I think standing at a wall and then being rescued means that one person has another chance to keep living in this world. And we never know the ripples of the effects of our actions and the entire world. And the fact that, this person's fiance obviously is one person who would be devastated. And now there's at least 2 other people who are full of joy because they can continue their life tomorrow. And you do that every day. And you never know the impact that you have with one's action. And so keep doing what you're doing. That's how we make the world a better place, one action at a time.
Thank you, Councilmember Mann. Anyone else want to add anything? Just to wrap it up, I think Councilmember Mann really hit the nail on the head. We don't know what is going on in people's lives right now, and this pandemic has taken a huge toll on so many folks. So, I implore anyone out there, if you need help, there's so many services that are available. And call a friend or call a neighbor. But Rich, what you did was just beyond incredible. And I know it's just your job. And I know that the police and fire are out there day in, day out, and there's so many things we don't hear. So thank you to all of our police and fire. And on behalf of the City Council, I'd like to thank you again. Thank you for your service. And we're always here to provide the tools and resources for all of you to do your job. So thank you. And we will give you this resolution. I did notice a typo. So I'll hand it to you. And also, I know that you actually have a folder for it, but this is for you for now. And Eric Wisher, I don't know if you joined us. Are you in the hall with the other firefighters? Did Maria patch him in?
He's coming.
Thank you. While we're waiting for Eric, what's the connection here? Oh, Mom is here. Please come here. I did have the Diane. Come here right now, please. Mom is here. Please, Diane, please, very quickly. I know we have a bunch of legislation, but Diane, Rich's mom, I did not know. I never knew the affiliation. Thank you, Mom, for sharing Rich with us. Thank you. Thank you. You must be so proud. Oh my gosh. And frightened at the same time. Yeah. So I never knew. Well, thank you, Diane, for sharing Rich. Is Eric with us?
I won't move him. I'm sorry.
He said in the chat that he is here.
It's okay. He will be speaking. You should know your team, your colleagues are at the Union Hall right now. They're watching us, and I know that Eric did want to join us, but that's okay. And he'll join us during the public forum. But Rich, thank you so much. Please be safe out there. Okay. Diane, please tell them to be safe. Take care.
Thank you.
Maria, it looks like he's under Ryan Pander.
Yep, I think I got it. Can they hear us? Are they there? I
Use
think
that box, Ryan, that we,
I hear it.
can you hear us?
Oh, there they are.
Take it
Thanks,
away.
guys. Sorry.
Can you guys hear us?
You can. Yes.
You're
Yes, we
on.
can hear you.
Again,
You can hear us? So we're here with the rest of the guys that were involved with the water rescue. I'll introduce them here. They're in the back of the room. We have firefighter Alex Catco, Battalion Chief Eric Koblenzer, firefighter Noah Sipperly, Captain Adam Tuftegard, Lieutenant Adam Manning, Captain Patrick Shaw, and Captain Chris Bertrand, who were all involved in the rescue. Obviously, due to COVID, we all can't be there, but we'd like to give them a round of applause for their work also.
Thank you.
And, as was said,
Thank you.
I think all the police and fire do an excellent job every day.
Be safe, all right? Take care. Hope you see you. We're counting on you. Thank you. All right, take care.
Council President.
You're on mute.
Councilmember Gully.
While we have the firefighters at the hall, I'd just like to personally say thank you to all of you that were involved in that process. And I appreciate everything you do each day.
Thank you all, guys. Okay, we're going to move into the good news portion. We have some really incredible heroes who are going to join us via Zoom. And Maria, I'd ask you to grab those folks and we'll get this rolling. And then just for order, I am going to bump up Resolution 19, Councilmember Steele, because Gina's joining us via Zoom. She doesn't feel that great. So I'd like to, just get her on the top of the list, okay? All right. Maria?
You want me to bring in?
The Troy Police. I will be happy when we're back in person.
I think I figured out a better way, actually, so hopefully that works.
It worked perfectly. So we have Arthur Hoffman, Dean Mahunik. Wasn't there one more on the list, Maria?
Eric, Dean, Arthur.
Oh, Michael Borden.
And
We were
Michael,
there.
yep.
Perfect.
Sorry, Mike.
Eric is still with us, Eric Wisher. So you might want to make sure that Eric, for now, leaves the gallery. All right, so here with us this evening, we have Arthur Hoffman, Dean Mahunik, and Michael Borden. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you guys maybe put your video on? And I was hoping Brass might be with one of you, is he? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Michael? Yes. Hi, Dean. How are you?
Good. That would be with Kyle Jones, Canine Jones. That's his Brass is his dog.
There he is. Hi, Kyle. I see your hand up. Thank you so much for joining us. Kyle, you're on mute. Awesome. Kyle, Brass is with us. Can you turn hopefully your picture on, and Arthur, Michael, and Dean if you want to also. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that option, how to turn it on.
It should be
I don't see it.
the three dots. I know, and I don't. Maybe if you hit the screen, I'm being told at the, again, Seamus.
If you hit the screen, the little bar should appear.
Okay, if you hit the screen, a little bar should come.
Unless they're on a computer, same thing, they'll have the three little dots.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? On the others, it says ask to start video. Is there an option that says to start video, Kyle?
No, there's not.
Ah. So, all right, well. Lovely technology. So for good news, we have K-9 officer Kyle Jones, Officer Borden, Officer Hoffman, and Officer Mahunik, and we have Brass. We can't see Brass, but Brass is with us. I want to just read this quickly. Troy police officers, shortly after 1 p.m. On January 8th, 2022, Troy Police Patrols received 911 calls reporting a robbery at the Sefcu Bank on Hoosick Street. Multiple personnel began to respond to that area to ensure the employees and any customers were safe in an attempt to locate the suspect. Bank employees reported the suspect had made a threatening statement, but did not display any weapons, stole U.S. currency from the employees, then fled the bank on foot. No bank employees or customers were injured during the incident. Responding patrol officers began to coordinate their response in a search for the suspect. Utilizing a Troy Police K-9, a track for the suspect was initiated. There's Kyle. Hi, Kyle. There he is, Brass. Hello, baby. I'm sorry. The New York State Police Troopers from the Brunswick Barracks, as well as the New York State Police helicopter from Troop G Aviation, also responded to the area to assist. 22 minutes after the initial call for help, several Troy Police patrol officers and a K-9 partner located the suspect hiding in a rear yard of a residence on Burdett Ave in Troy. The suspect was taken into custody without further incident. The suspect, I won't say his name, has been processed at the Troy Police Station. Today's efforts are an exemplative of the strong relationships that exist between local law enforcement partners, as well as the professionalism and service that exists within the Troy Police Patrol Division. For our patrol division, thank you for making a difference. For K-9 Brass, you are a hero. We're proud of these members' efforts in bringing this incident to speedy resolution. Very quickly, I'd like to hand it over to Kyle. If you could introduce Brass, and on behalf of the City Council, I know folks want to thank you also. We would all like to thank Brass, thank our Troy Police Force, and Kyle, we'd love to hear from you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the recognition. It's a cooperative effort from the whole patrol division and everyone involved. K-9 Brass is just a small part that really keeps everything going there. But he had to go outside to use the bathroom, so it's just me.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Please thank Brass, and I know some council members may have thoughts. I'll ask them to jump in if you'd like to, but we're so thankful to Brass and TPD every day of our lives.
Yeah, we're thankful for your support and the K-9 program. It's a great program. I speak on behalf of the other K-9 handlers. We're blessed to be able to have that position and have a partner ride with us every day. So it's nice to see the recognition. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Council members, anyone want to jump in quickly?
Yeah, Council President.
Absolutely. Council member Ash McPherson.
Kyle, I really wish you'd get the dog in because we want to see the dog. No offense to you.
I want the
And
dog.
I
to
know
come
you so I
back.
can say that to you. But I know I've been around a few of you guys that have done the canines, and I know how well those dogs are treated, and I know how well they are trained, and they are a huge part of your department as your partner. And those dogs would do anything for their partner and vice versa. I just want to know, how many steaks a week does he get?
We're on a low budget, only once a week.
Well, then I think I'm just gonna have to buy him a steak dinner. Not you, the dog. But thank you for what you do.
Thank you, Councilmember Ash McPherson. My
Thank you.
phone died and I thought it was charging, and this whole time it wasn't. Technology. Any other council members? All right, Kyle, Dean, Michael, and Arthur, and most importantly, Brass. This was in my backyard, and that day the helicopter was flying pretty low over our abode, and I didn't know what was going on. And all of a sudden, I did see it on Twitter. So we thank you for the quick response and thank Brass so much, but we thank all of you every day, not just today.
Well, thank you very much. Like I said, it's nice to see the recognition, and it was a team effort by all of us. And we appreciate tonight. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
again.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Take care, Kyle. Thanks. Okay, Maria, we're gonna move into the public forum. Your vacancy list is at the end of the packet. Take a look at that. And if you have questions, could ask now or contact the mayor. Public forum. Oh, I apologize. We are now, thank you, Seamus, resolution 19. Maria, can you read that, please? And then we'll go into the public forum. Gina's not feeling good.
Sorry, hold on 1 second for me.
Sure. And there is a typo. Esposito, ESPO, SITIO. It's on the agenda. It's not, the resolution reads fine. So there is a typo. Only I do see in the resolution, ESPOSITIO, it's ITO.
Resolution 19, resolution in memory of Michael A. Esposito, Councilmember Steele, Council President Mantello, Councilmember Men, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Soriento, Councilmember Gully.
Thank you. Councilmember Conley Wilson, you, I think, wanted to be on this also. Please say aye, Councilmember Conley Wilson.
I would love to be on this as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Steele? Would you like to read this? You're on mute. There you go.
Yeah. The way the agenda arrived this time makes it very difficult to navigate. In the past, we've had agendas that we didn't have to scroll through like this. So I hope that will be resolved in the near future.
Yeah. It's in a PDF format, and I prefer it to be in Word, and it will be in Word in the
Well,
future.
we used to be able to use liquid text, and so that was very helpful. So let me see if I can find it in another way.
I can send it to you if you'd like. I do have it.
I should have my draft.
It's on page 37 as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I can send it to you right now if you'd like.
Sure, if you want to.
Yep, I am forwarding it to your email.
Thanks.
No problem. There you go.
And probably will have the same issue receiving it.
I hope not. You know what I'll do? I'm not, you should get it. I did not connect to our Wi-Fi here on my phone.
I sent it to you, Sue. I sent it to you, Sue.
Okay, thank you.
My first time making the agenda. I apologize.
Yeah, no, and I wasn't even going to mention it. It's just now that I have been called upon, I do apologize delaying this any further.
Not a problem. Councilmember Steele Maria, please have Gina join us. There we go. Hi, Gina.
Hi.
Hi, I hope you feel better.
Thank you. COVID hit my house.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so we're masking it up.
Councilmember Steele.
Gina, and to all your family, your uncle was a very special person. And as I've said before, I didn't get to enjoy his presence in District 3 for very long, but he certainly enriched our community. And as I said in the resolution, a community is enriched by the positive participation of citizens in neighborhoods, nonprofit service agencies, and city government. And when a citizen of exemplary public service departs, it is fitting for this body to memorialize that person's unique and lasting impact on our beloved city. And that at the age of 81, Michael A. Esposito of Troy passed into eternal rest on Friday morning, December 10, 2021 at Samaritan Hospital, surrounded by his loving family. And whereas Michael Esposito graduated from Catholic Central High School, class of 1958, before pursuing his education at SUNY Albany and the Sage Colleges, where he earned a master's degree. He also served his nation in the United States Army. And whereas Michael was employed by the New York State Library and the RPI Library, and volunteered as a member of the Friends of the Troy Public Library, he dedicated his life to research and authored several books, including Images of America, Troy's Little Italy, and Troy Little Italy Revisited, that demonstrated his vast knowledge of Troy. And whereas throughout his life, Michael was very involved in the Troy community, particularly his neighborhood. He was an original member of various past Little Italy committees and neighborhood groups. At the time of his death, he served as co-facilitator of the current Little Italy Quality of Life Committee, editor and publisher of the Little Italy newspaper, and was a strong proponent of the historic Hill Street Market. And whereas Michael was named CYO Person of the Year in 2010 and a Troy Treasure awardee by Trip in 2012, in recognition of his years of dedication to our community. In recognition of his lifetime of contribution to his neighborhood, the rose window of St. Mary's Church was lit in his memory. And whereas Michael was born in Troy, son of the late Michael and Antoinette Terrible Esposito, he was a communicant of St. Anthony of Padua Church in Troy. Michael is survived by his loving sisters, Nancy and Carmela. He is also survived by his loving nieces and nephew, Christina, Gina, Lucia, and Nicholas, and his great nieces and nephews, Vincent, Elena, Madeleine, Michael, and John. Michael is also survived by many friends and colleagues who were inspired by his passion and selfless commitment to the projects he undertook. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Council does hereby pause in its deliberations to honor the memory of Michael A. Esposito, who devoted his life to the service of others and made Troy a better place through his exceptional volunteer endeavors. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution suitably engrossed be transmitted to the grieving family of Michael A. Esposito.
Thank you, Councilmember Steele. Maria. Okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
I like lost the Zoom link.
Oh, you lost the Zoom link?
Oh, I didn't know you could still hear me. Sorry. Here we are. Back. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
We have a motion. We have a second. I'd like to open it up to any council member who would like to share their thoughts.
Council President,
Councilmember Gully.
I was not lucky enough to meet Michael in his younger years when he hung around the marketplace. He was one of the older guys when I was a little kid that we used to look up to. So with not many memories, I can say one thing. That was a tough group of guys, and I could see how he could shape up the city a little bit with his talent and his effort. I wish I'd had a chance to have conversations and get to know him, because all the Espositos I know were all straight up people, and you had to respect them back then, or you found out why. But anyways, it was great to hang down in that neighborhood. Little Italy was really, really different back in the 60s and 70s compared to what it is today. But I wish I'd had more time to meet him and talk to him. It sounds like a wonderful person, and all the things he's done is tremendous for our city.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully. Gina, I'd like to add, so much was said, obviously, last week or 2 weeks ago, and then TNAC this past week. Your uncle's legacy is going to live on forever and ever and ever. And my dad and Mike knew each other well, and Mike would highlight our family in different newsletters. And, you know, my dad grew up right around the corner from the market, and tells me stories when it was hopping, and some of the stories I'd be able to repeat, like you said, Councilmember Gully, some I wouldn't be able to. But Michael was just a true gem, so dedicated, so passionate, not just to Little Italy, but Troy as a whole. He is truly, truly going to be missed. I miss him already, just that smile. And his sister Carmela, we would always laugh, the three of us, Carmela.
Carmela,
And-
yep.
Yep, we would make jokes all the time. So Gina, I just want to say your uncle's legacy will live on forever, and his
Thank you.
spirit will be with us forever and ever. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing.
He was an amazing man, and he's going to be missed by all. And he just loved Troy, and it's an honor the way everybody's been honoring my uncle. It means a lot to me and my family. We appreciate everything the city of Troy has done, and just keep up the good work everybody's doing. And Michael's memory lives on in the city of Troy, and he's looking down on everybody and smiling, we hope.
Oh, I'm sure he's looking down on us. Absolutely.
Yeah, he was the best. I miss him terribly.
Hey, Gina,
But-
just for folks out there, would you like to share a quick story that kind of, you feel really exemplifies your uncle?
I have too many stories. He was just amazing. He was always there for the family. Growing up with him and living down on 3rd Street with him since I was 4 years old. Never left him. We moved up here to Burdett Avenue back in August. And then Michael, he got sick, so he really didn't get to enjoy the house. But, I'm going to make it, a good place, and, live on in Michael's memory. To what Michael wanted was to be up here. And there's just so many stories. I don't know where to begin on things. I just love to hear everybody talk about him. And I never knew how many people he knew and how many people loved him, and he loved so many people. I'm sorry, I'm breaking down.
It's
But,
okay. You're human.
But yeah, I just appreciate it all. You guys are the best.
So, thank you, Gina. And
Thank you.
the legislation is also on tonight at the request of the mayor. and the administration and, you know, designating the portion of Hill Street in honor of your uncle is going to be an amazing feat also. So we'll be passing that this evening, Gina.
Okay,
I'm
thank you.
I'm taking a leap. I think the council will fully support it. But Gina, thank you for sharing your uncle with us. And did anyone else want to add anything? I think so much has been said.
I just
Council
want to wish them well, and I hope you're feeling better soon.
Thank you.
Take care, Gina. Feel
Thank
better.
you.
You know, it's very serious, so stay safe and lots of snow and sleet coming our way. Thank you.
Yep.
Gina.
Stay
Thank you
safe,
again.
everybody.
Yep, take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, resolution 19 carries 7-0. We're now going to move into the public forum. So Maria, let's get rolling with that. And I have the list in front of me. Is everyone with us? Because then we can just pull from the list. You're on mute.
Yep, there's only a few people here that are on the list.
Okay, why don't you tell me who's on the list? We'll pull.
Okay,
quick. Ken Zalewski with us?
nope, he's not here.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just trying to cross-reference who's
okay.
here and then the list.
Yeah.
He said he couldn't join the meeting for some reason.
He was registered.
You sent him the link, right?
Yeah, and he came up back as he was registered. And he was on the list too. It's down the bottom.
Councilmember Steele, maybe ask, text him again. Tell him he's registered.
Patrick and then Sam.
Okay, why don't you, let's see, okay, let's bring in Patrick. And while we're bringing in Patrick, I want to thank the mayor. He has updated us. Surfaces are starting to freeze out there, so I may be hunkering down here at City Hall. Emily, I'll crash at your place, but Salter's around. So thank you, Mayor, for that update, and please continue to keep us posted. Patrick, thank you for joining us. You're with the Troy City Council. You're at the regular council meeting. You will have 4 minutes to speak on the agenda. Thank you.
Hi, I'm speaking on Resolution 16 on the redistricting of the city.
Okay.
I've been in the city for 16 years, and given the past few years, seeing what's been going on with the bipartisan and the partisan politics and everything that's been going on lately, the city voted for a majority of a Republican council and a Democratic mayor. And now we're redistricting the city. The last council pushed through to have a 5-2 majority instead of a equal party to speak on the behalf of the city residents to redistrict the city equally and fairly. I just don't see how that's partisan and or bipartisan and fair to the city residents that still live in the city, work in the city. And that's all I really have to say at this point in time.
Thank you, Patrick. We will also be having, just so you know, some public hearings throughout the month of February. Okay, and certainly keep an eye out for those. I'll be announcing them with the resolution this evening. Please feel free to join and pay attention. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. All right, Maria, on to the next. You said Sam's with us?
Yes.
Okay, take it away, Sam. How are you?
Good. How's everyone tonight? Can you hear me?
We can hear you and we welcome you to the Troy City Council. We're
Thank
hearing it's getting a bit messy out there.
It is a little bit. I put some salt down already, so I'm getting ready for it, as we all should. But I'm just here tonight as a representative of the Quality of Life Committee. And I really want to thank the mayor, council president, and council members for drafting and supporting the resolutions honoring Mike. I mean, so much has been said about Mike, and it's all very true. Mike really had a true passion for the history of the city of Troy and the neighborhood. And really, all of us that are on the Quality of Life Committee feel it was an honor to work with Mike and really to learn from Mike. The resolutions, though, capture the honors that he truly deserves. And then just so everyone knows, our committee is here to help out with whatever plans are going to be moving forward for the dedication. Our committee is here to help out and to support that in any way we can. So again, thank you everyone for honoring Mike. And I know Gina and the family is really honored with everything that's going on. So thanks again for everybody and all your hard work. It's much appreciated and much deserved for Mike. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you for everything you do. Thank you.
Council President, I just want to thank Sam for all of his help. He was a great editor of the resolution. So while I was drafting. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Sam. Be safe. Thank you.
You all be safe too. Thank you.
Okay, Maria, I know Jeff Belschwinder is with us, and anyone else in the wings?
I believe Eric and Luz, I know Luz spoke at finance. I wasn't sure if she wanted to speak at this as well. And then Eric as well.
If Luz is with us, I would state yes, anyone that's with us.
Okay.
Jeff, let's bring in Jeff, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Jeff.
Can you
Good
hear me?
evening.
Good evening.
You're with the
I'd
Troy
like-
City Council. You have 4 minutes.
Thank you. All right, perfect. I'm going to be very fast, but I'd like to thank you all for recognizing everyone there tonight with both mentions from Little Italy to the police and fire department. That was great. I am coming in to talk about the redistricting. When I saw this here, that it was pushed through last year, and then we have a uneven committee. I'd like to see the city council redivide this and do it an even way, 5 and 5, or we have all these districts, 6 districts, even as a bipartisan committee to go 6 and 6. So then it would be 1 Democrat, 1 Republican, or 1 conservative, or 1 individual from each selected party to be able to have an equal voice for those districts. Over the years, the city of Troy has grown. We've seen significant growth throughout the city, from whether it be downtown to the east side to the north end of the city. We need to have just an equal opportunity of voice from both sides of the aisle to come together and put our hands together and to be able to come together as one for the citizens of the city. I don't agree with the 5 and 2. Like I said, I agree that we should be having 1 and 1 and be able to come together and make a great decision for the residents and taxpayers of the city of Troy here. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you
Be
for
safe.
joining us, and I love the picture of your pup. Okay, Maria, who's in the wings that are on deck?
I believe Eric.
Okay. Eric Wisher? Hi,
Can you
Eric.
hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you for joining us again. You're with the Troy City Council in the public forum.
I'd like to speak on a few things. I think it's great to honor Michael Esposito for all he's done for the city throughout his life. I'd like to thank the entire council again and yourself for spearheading the effort to honor Rich Bellamy and Kyle Jones tonight. It's nice to see the support from the entire council for those heroic efforts. The police and fire do heroic things, as you said earlier, every day that you don't normally get to see. Every call we go on is that individual's emergency, and we handle that emergency to change alter their life on every call. So it was great to have some support from the people on the council. We appreciate that. And I'd also like to speak on the redistricting. 5-2 is a lopsided number. If you want to have fair and equal redistricting, it should be an even of each side, a bipartisan committee, 5 and 5, and it should attribute to each district also, but 5 and 5 would be fair to both sides. Everybody has an equal number, and I think you would get a better result by doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you for joining us. Maria, who's batting cleanup?
I believe Luce is.
Okay. Hi, Luce. Thank you for joining us. You're with the City Council again. Thank you. And sorry about having to move the public forum. Thank you for your patience.
You're welcome. Just a couple of things. One is, I think it's hard. We're not speaking the same language to each other, because whenever we say Black Lives Matter, you think that we don't think police lives matter. And when you do things like what you just did, it puts us in a juxtaposition against police officers. We are tired of Black people and brown people and gay people and people with disabilities and people with mental health issues being killed. We didn't just come together in these last few years because we're in solidarity with George Floyd in Minneapolis. We came together because we're sick and tired of people who are Black and brown, Latinos, being harmed and being killed. And so when you do things like this, you put us at odds with each other, and you make it seem like we just want cops to be killed, and we have never said anything. We just want Black lives to matter. Troy has a long history of police brutality. In 2015, Thaddeus Faison was killed by police, and of course we know about Essen Thevenin in 2016, and then Dominic McDonald, who you just all settled on for his settlement, was harmed in 2016. Thaddeus brings us into 2015. That was a Black young man who was killed for suspected carjacking. In 2014, Rashawn Donnelly was assaulted by Troy police at Cocopelli's. That was a big case that City Council member Anastasia Roberts took her leadership and her voice, and you all paid her horribly by singling her out and saying that she started a riot when she did not. In 2013, in December, there were 6 different cases, and I'm just going to mention one because I know I only get 5 minutes, while other folks on here got more than 5 and who knows what else. But Lawrence Nesmith was assaulted by Troy police officer Sean McMahon while in a holding cell. 2012, Brian Hooley was assaulted at his home by who? The very Kyle Jones that you just gave an honor to, who after a Facebook, a social media, how belittling can you be? Why is police officer arguing on social media and then gets in his car, drives to Brian Hooley's house and assaults him? The Troy Police Department did an internal investigation and found that it was an acceptable use of force to go into someone's house and beat them up because you were arguing on social media. In 2011, John Larkins was taking his aunt to the ER at Samaritan. His aunt is a deaf, meaning she can't hear and speak, and he was taking her to the ER. They both, he and his aunt, got beat up by 3 police officers. He was forced to the ground, and then they arrested him and they pepper sprayed him on his way to the police station. 2010, Luis Luberes was assaulted by 4 Troy police officers. I need you to know that these are the stories that sit in our memory as Black and Latino folks. And so, yes, Do we know that police are supposed to be here and protect and serve? Absolutely. But there is a distinction as to how they protect and serve when they're in Black and Latino communities. When they're in our communities, Carmela, they don't behave the same way, or at least not towards you, but they have towards me on my house. But I need you to understand that when you do things like that, you are dismissing a large percentage of your community who live here, whose lives matter. Their lives matter. The police union in Troy has you all scared to reckon with them. You need to call them to task. You need to hold people accountable. It's okay for you to do that. That is your job.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you. Okay, Maria? Anyone else?
No.
All right, if any of the folks that did sign up do join, please let me know. We're going to move into the legislation, Ordinance 3. Oh, I apologize. Local Law 1 is for introduction only. We do have a resolution after, which will take up setting the public hearings. So it's for introduction officially this evening. We'll then have 3 public hearings, and the vote will be scheduled for March 3rd. I just would ask the council to keep an open mind as the public hearings progress. Thank you. Ordinance 3.
Ordinance 3, ordinance transferring funds within the 2022 general fund. Council President Mantello, Councilmember Gully, Councilmember Ash McPherson, and Councilmember Soriento.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? Councilmember Gully motions. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Soriento. Discussion, Councilmember Gully.
Council President,
Yes.
I would like to, at this time, table Ordinance 3. After a discussion with the mayor, I believe that there's more information I want to have, but I would like to just table that for now.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to table. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Councilmember Gully, on the discussion, do you plan to have a general services committee meeting?
I'm going to pull I'm going to put a general service meeting together to speak with the parking department and our police department on the process of tickets. And I also want some logistical values and volumes for what occurs during the course of a day with our attendance that we have currently. So I do have a few more questions. I just like to really do the right thing. I was, I was actually kind of focused on taking in some more information, and I'm always about making sure I have everything in line before I make a decision. So that's why I'm going in that direction.
Councilmember Gully, I agree with the decision on the discussion. I also spoke to the mayor with you about this particular item, and I think some additional information is fine. And the mayor made a couple points, and obviously at the last council meeting, a couple of council members raised some issues also. So let us know when that general services is going to be planned, and we'll take it from there and bring some folks in and try to get some data. I would appreciate you trying to get some numbers and things. I know that you reached out to some folks for some data and numbers, so hopefully you can get that before the general services committee meeting, so then we can discuss it.
Council President, if they are supplied to us, we will have the numbers. And I
Beautiful.
don't think there's anything standing in our way. It's been very transparent, very open about our conversations. So I think that we'll all get a little more out of it.
Perfect.
Council President,
Yes, Councilmember Mann.
I know at our previous meeting, I just wanted to reiterate, especially to the other council members in the other parts of Troy, I would like to see more equitable parking enforcement throughout the city, not just entirely focused on downtown. I know there are cost considerations, and obviously you can make a lot of money doing parking enforcement downtown. So if you're able to keep me in the loop, especially with that data, that would help me a lot, being able to communicate with downtown businesses and residents who are really whose parking is heavily enforced.
Council President,
Yes, Councilmember Gully.
I will share the information with everyone, and everyone has the opportunity to be at the General Services meeting. I would suggest that we all make that effort, so we all can learn more about the operation in us.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully. Further discussion, questions on the motion to table? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Maria?
Okay, ordinance 5, ordinance authorizing
No,
settlement.
no, Maria, you just have to announce the
7 A's to motion,
to table.
to
Very
table. I'm
Very
sorry.
good. Ordinance 5.
Ordinance 5, ordinance authorizing settlement of claim to wit Mary Ellen Arsenal and Felix Champito, plaintiffs versus City of Troy, ETL defendants, Council President Mantell at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Council President,
Council-
I believe, was it Council Member Steele that was the first one? That was the motion?
No, Councilmember Ash McPherson
Okay.
motion. Councilmember Steele seconded.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, motion, Councilmember Ash McPherson, second, Councilmember Steele. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes, ordinance 5 passes.
Thank you. Council, let's see, ordinance 6, Maria.
Ordinance 6, ordinance authorizing settlement of claim to it Demique McDonald, plaintiff versus City of Troy, LL defendants, U.S. District Court, Northern District of New York, civil action number 118 CV-1327. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Steele. Discussion?
Council President Montella?
Yes, Councilmember Conley Wilson.
Yes. I just want to say I'm happy that the city and Demique were able to come to a settlement on this. I do want to express that I do share some concerns that have been brought up today in terms of making sure our police are being held accountable for their actions and making sure that we are balancing that with the safety of our community. As a person of color, I am constantly profiled for how I look, and people treat me differently because of that. And I want to make sure that we are upholding that. And I know our mayor and our whole council are committed to that. I just want to really emphasize that we live in a racist society and we have to really consider what those biases mean. I agree with the settlement, and I really have some faith that we will change things that need to be changed. And I really do just want to state that. And, I want to bring that change, and I want to help us get there. So I have faith that we will be able to do that. But we do really need to look at what is going on in this world and what has gone on historically.
Thank you, Councilmember Conley Wilson, and I pledge to do everything to work with you. Further discussion, questions? Take a slow roll. Maria?
Councilmember Gully,
Aye.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Aye.
Councilmember Steele,
Aye.
Councilmember Men,
Aye.
Councilmember Conley Wilson,
Aye.
Councilmember Soriento,
Aye.
and Council President Mantello.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 noes. Ordinance 6 passes.
Thank you, Maria. Let's move on to Resolution 16. Before we move to this resolution, I would like to announce the 3 public hearings. Maria, if you could fill that into the resolution. So if you all have a pen handy, February 17th, a Thursday, 5:30. February, we have a finance that evening, so I tried to dovetail the public hearings with other meetings. February 23rd is a Wednesday, 5:45. Actually, I apologize, bump that to 5:30. I know that Council Member Ash McPherson and Council Member Soriento are scheduling committee meetings that night, which all members will be apprised of as that moves forward. So February 23rd, Wednesday, 5:30, and then March 3rd, the night of the meeting, 5:30 before the vote. Thank you. Maria, if you could read Resolution 16.
Resolution 16, resolution of Troy City Council authorizing and scheduling a public hearing in connection with proposed local law number 1 of 2022, amending Troy City Charter Part 2, Article 1, Section C2, Council President Mantello.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Is there a second?
Second.
Ty, we'll give it to Councilmember Soriento. Discussion? All in favor?
Council,
Yep.
Council President. Clearly, given the comments from the public tonight, there's an awful lot of misinformation out there, categorically wrong that the independent redistricting commission is 5-2 or whatever they were quoting. That's not accurate at all. And it's unfortunate that this is being made a political football here. We have a charter that was adopted by the citizens of Troy. The commission was appointed in accordance with that charter. And we don't need to change that charter every time the majority of a council changes. That defeats the spirit of the charter. So I cannot support any effort at all to stack the deck as you would do. I think it's very clear that an even number commission would result in nothing, as we saw on the state level just recently. We need to leave the charter as it is. We need to allow the existing redistricting commission, who is already in existence, whose chair is a member of the League of Women Voters. They are independent minded. They have a mission. They understand that they are to redistrict based on numbers, not on party. And this is just nothing more than a power play. And so if we're going to go forward with these public hearings, which of course we will, because you have the votes, I hope that what they will produce is the facts and no more misleading the public, trying to frame this like it was a power grab before, when indeed it was following the charter to the letter.
Thank you, Councilmember Steele.
Council President.
Councilmember Ash McPherson.
I would just like to say that, to Councilman Steele, I don't think this is a power grab. This was pushed through, and I'm going to change that word. This was put on the agenda prior to the previous majority council was going out.
And there was a comment that was made by one of the council members that, you know, they weren't going to give us any appointments. And it was put on social media. Yes, so it was put on social media, and that they weren't going to give us any appointments, but they thought they would just give us 2. You know, trying to even it out, in my opinion, is going to help all of our residents and all our taxpayers. There's no representation from District 1, and there's a few representation from District 2. So let's try to make it 5 and 5. We give 5 different people. There's only 3 more people to go on to give 10. They're going to sit down at a table and they're going to work it out. You know, if it doesn't come out the way it wants to be, the mayor can vote it or veto it. But this is an opportunity to get people at a table to say, let's look at the full picture of the redistricting and where it's, you know, not enough representation, where they need more, or if they need less. So, I mean, I don't think it's a power grab, because there's no power grab, because it's an even split. It's 5-5. So that's the way I'm looking at it. So that's just my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Ash McPherson. I'd like to just add a couple things. Misleading is essentially what the prior majority did on their way out the door. 5-2, I sent members' names from our community, from the Burgh. No one in the Burgh is represented. I had a very good discussion with Renee Paul from the NAACP, the Troy branch, because Renee was being fed misleading statements that we were replacing people, that the proposal was all about changing the commission. Absolutely not, folks. What we're doing here on the way out the door, some lame duck council members, much like the temporary garbage fee, which ended up going permanent, on their way out the door, 5-2, we asked, the minority at that time asked for another appointment, a lousy one more person to try to make it even, somebody from the Burgh. We were flat out told no. Per the charter, you can only have 4 members from one party. So you have 4 Democrats and then the 5th person, and one of those Democrats is actually a committee member. So honestly, talk about politics, but stating that the 4th member is from a different party. All we're asking here is for co-equal fairness, somebody from the Burgh. One of the things Renee also asked me, Carmela, point blank, is there anyone from North Central? And as Councilmember Ash McPherson just stated, there are 2 members from District 2, but it's from the northern part of District 2 over by the ice rink. There is not a member from North Central Hillside. There's a member from South Troy and 2 members from the east side, stating that this gives us, by adding 3 members, an opportunity to represent every part of this city, whether it be Lansingburg, Corliss Park, Miami Estates, that area, North Lansingburg, all the way to the ice rink does not have a member. So Lansingburg is not represented. Corliss Park is not represented. North Central, I did tell Renee if she had a member that she would like considered to please forward it our way. Just lastly, it was just mentioned what we're seeing on the state level. That's a total shame. And as many folks know, I work there, I see it firsthand. We can actually be a model, much like we have been a model on other fronts. We have come together, we have worked together on some major issues, including during COVID, the budget. We came together. I see no reason. The majority last year, the Democrats have 5 appointments, 3 more, the Republicans will have 5 appointments, and we will add 3 people not from the same party per the charter. You can't. So stating that, and it was also said, why mess with the charter? Hello, the prior majority also took various positions, changed the rules, tried to stifle, got rid of good news, only 2 good news per member. We amended those rules to open it up. So stating that, I hope as we move forward with the public hearings, keep an open mind, talk to your constituents, talk to folks. And I think you'll find that folks are supportive of this for the most part. And please talk to various representatives. As Councilmember Steele stated, there are a number of misstatements out there. Please talk to your folks and try to get the facts out there. Thank you. Further discussion, questions?
Council President?
Yes, Councilmember Mann.
Well, one, to just sort of make sure that the public understands, there are 2 Republicans on this commission, and then there's a Libertarian, a member of the Libertarian Party. So I would like the public to clearly understand that they are not 5 Democrats. There are actually 3. There's 1 member of a minority party, or Libertarian Party. Also, I just sort of question the timing of this, because one of the first phases, the work of an independent voting commission or redistricting commission is broken into 2 phases. The first of which is to determine whether or not redistricting needs to happen at all. And the deadline for that to the state is March 31st. And that's just simply an analysis done by census data. We don't even know if we need to be redistricted. So why are we looking to change our city charter until we even know if redistricting should happen? And I know that there have been new buildings built throughout the city, and there probably will be shifts, but we don't know that for sure yet. And so I think it may be premature for us to be doing this before we even get that final determination. And it doesn't really matter how many people you have on a committee, on a commission, when it's literally just running things through a spreadsheet. And then thirdly, we're getting into the weeds and not necessarily avoiding, we're turning this into a partisan thing. I mean, Troy's a technology leader in the country. Why aren't we using AI, of which there are a tremendous number of models already in existence that have been developed for the last 10 years, to come up with different options that are in compliance with the rules laid out by the Supreme Court, laid out by the US Constitution, and come up with a plan that is demonstrably neutral, and so that everyone has a fair chance. Take the partisan out of this entirely. We don't have to modify our charter for us to be bipartisan. And also, we know what happens when you have a partisan, when things become partisan and you have an even number of people on a decision-making body, and that means it deadlocks. And then what happens? Then we don't get our maps redrawn, if they need to be redrawn, and turned in a timely manner. So that's my thought.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Mann. Would anyone else like to add anything?
Council President,
Yes, Councilmember Gully.
I've sat 4 years in a minority watching majorities control the vote each time. And very few times, probably I could count them on less than one hand, was the minority asked to be a participant and be bipartisan in the process. And to have the redistricting, we knew it was coming, but to have it put upon us in December, the last month when a new majority was coming in, and the prior majority knew that a new council was coming in, I thought we would have had some type of communication where we could have had some sort of bipartisan conversation to include all of our districts. We were never asked. We never had any response to anything that we put forward. And And I will tell you that it just felt a little lopsided, not having anything but just getting to the table and hearing the vote, as I know minorities feel, because that's just how politics work. But the frustrating part is we never know what's bipartisan when it comes to these processes, because people can register in any parties. And as you know, in politics, that happens numerous times. So even though they might be registered libertarian, conservative, independent, you never know who they are or who they're affiliated with or what they're doing. And I'm not saying everybody's bad. I'm just saying everybody has an interpretation of what they want. For us, the reason we picked putting 3 people in there would be to really balance out the district's representation so that the whole city had somebody that was fighting for their area, so that those numbers, by the way, those numbers that go in a spreadsheet are only as good as the person who puts them on there. So we want to make sure that we want to make sure that we have, like you said, fair representation. Let's do that. Let's just include people. I think it should be 12 people, 2 people from each district. If you ask me, I mean, that was my thing, and I think that would be perfect. But I just think just trying to balance this thing off and make it so both sides, which would be bipartisan when both people are happy and comfortable that we're going to get a fair process. Because right now it's a little stagnant to feel comfortable because it was brought to us so quick. And as I said, when you go through 4 years and not having much of a say, even though you talk and you try to collaborate and communicate, you'll understand that politics make it difficult in the city because you don't know what's going to happen. But so for me, it's not about politics. It's about 6 districts that all deserve proper representation in this process. And that's all it is for me. So you can say it's political, and Sue, you can, smile and look at us funny, but the reality is we do want a fair process. But now, since it's already been started, we have to make a way to make it fair from what we have. And we don't want to relieve the people that are there. We want to make it right for everybody. So our thought is to get impact from every district in our city and make this a fair process. That's our thought behind this. It's not a political thought. It has nothing to do with Democrat or Republican. It has to do with making it fair for all the districts and putting it all on the table. And if you really want to be fair, let me ask you this. Why would you argue against representation from each district properly? I just can't see how we would do that. If we all want to have a bipartisan fair process, let's do it. Let's make it fair. Let's make it bipartisan. And let's start working together instead of playing chess with these comments that you're not fair, we're not fair, you're not doing the right thing, we're not doing the right thing. Let's get past that, because all this argumentative conversation never gets us much results. Let's really put our heads together and just try to do this right. And we're just trying to do this right. So I know some people might not comprehend it that way, as I can see by Sue. And I understand that maybe it's not interpreted the way I'm bringing it across. But for most of you who know me, I don't really have a lot of political bones in my body. So you can say whatever you want or think whatever you want or comprehend my conversation. But representation from all districts properly is a real bipartisan way to do this redistricting. No matter how you feel, you got to represent everybody, and everybody should have a say in the game. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully. Would anyone else like to add anything? Okay, discussion. Slow roll, Maria. Marie, you're on mute.
Councilmember Gully,
Yes.
Councilmember Ash McPherson,
Yes.
Councilmember Steele,
The funny looking Sue says no.
Councilmember Men,
No, because we don't even know if we need to redistrict yet.
Councilmember Conley Wilson,
No.
Councilmember Soriento,
Yes.
Council President Mantello.
Before my vote, couple quick things, just correction, Councilmember Men, you had mentioned the 5 appointments per the charter. You can only have 4 from one party, so that's per the charter. Stating that 5 appointments, Democrats appointed last year, majority. 3 more, 5 appointments from the majority this year. Very even, very equal. And I actually was a little disappointed there, Councilmember Men, there is no representative from D4. So I was hoping maybe that you would be more open to this, and maybe it will be as the public hearings move forward. And just lastly, as Councilmember Gully stated, this is all about getting more geographic representation. Councilmember Gully actually wanted to go up to 12, stating that I figured, 3 more, make it 5 and 5. I know that the Redistricting, Independent Redistricting Commission has met twice, and hopefully this will pass in March, and the 3 new members can join the 7 members. I vote aye.
Okay, 4 ayes, 3 noes. Resolution 16 passes.
Resolution 17.
Resolution 17, a resolution to provide an informal honorary designation for a portion of Hill Street between Liberty and Washington Streets as Esposito Way in honor of Michael A. Esposito. Council President Mantello, at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Councilmember Gully. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Steele. Discussion? Mayor, what's your timeline, you think?
I don't think it'll take that long to have a sign made. I think, though, that we'd like to wait until the weather's a little bit more predictable and amenable to having a group of people stand outside, because I suspect there'll be a lot of people who want to say something, and this event could go on for a while. So sometime when the weather warms a little bit.
Fantastic. Thank you. Sounds good. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Resolution 17, 7 ayes, 0 noes, it passes. So resolution 17 passes.
Thank you. Resolution 18.
Resolution 18, resolution commemorating the 100th birthday of Dorothy M. Robinson, Council President Mantello.
Okay, everyone, I'd like to read this. Dorothy's family is watching. I did ask Dorothy's family to join us, and unfortunately, they have a Zoom at 7 p.m. Bear with me. But we're so late, they probably could have joined us. Why can't I find this? I'm with you, council member. I am not a fan of PDFs.
I promise I will do my best next time, Council President, and the rest of the council. I apologize.
You're doing awesome. You're doing very good. No problem. Okay, it's Kip's hair. Sorry. That's why. It's not your fault, actually, at all. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Dorothy
Council
Robinson.
President,
actually-
I just sent you via your phone, a picture of it, if you can read that.
Yeah, I found it. It was just the iPad. Thank you. Thanks, Seamus. Sorry about that. It wasn't your fault, Maria. Total me. Technology. So Resolution 18 and Councilmember Ash McPherson, Dorothy lived in District 2 for many, many years. Resolution commemorating the 100th birthday of Dorothy M. Robinson, whereas Dorothy M. Robinson was born on February 13th, 1922, and raised in Oakland, Florida. And whereas Dorothy married Leroy Robinson on April 8th, 1939, and to this union was born one son, Wayne Eric Robinson, and Kimberly, his wife. And whereas Dorothy and Leroy renewed their vows in 1989 on their 50th wedding anniversary and shared 65 years of married bliss before Roy passed away in 2003. And whereas Dorothy's career included employment with the Watervliet Arsenal, Fluent and Peabody, and the State of New York Workmen's Compensation Board, from which Dorothy retired in 1983 after many years of service. And whereas Dorothy has been an active member of Bethel Baptist Church for more than 70 years, and has served in many auxiliaries, including Sunday school, senior choir, floral ministry, Christian education, hospitality ministry, leaders council, Susie Lambert missionary, retirees club, and in many leadership capacities. Dorothy was also involved in the arts and crafts activities and enjoyed assisting in crafts during Vacation Bible School. And whereas in her community, Dorothy was a member of the Versatile Club, a women's social group, and was involved in the Order of the Eastern Star for many years. And whereas Dorothy has always enjoyed decorating, sewing, traveling, and has a knack for gardening and flowers. Dorothy knows her way around the kitchen. She is quite the cook and is known for her famous apple cake and beautiful Jell-O molds. And whereas in 2009, Dorothy sold her home on Lavin Court and moved to the Beechwood Retirement Community on Burdett Ave, settled in, became involved as a member of the House Committee, and is the caretaker of the plants on her floor. And whereas Dorothy plans to be at Beechwood for many years as longevity runs in the family, Dorothy's mother, Mrs. Mosby, lived to the ripe old age of 103. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Troy City Council pause in its deliberation to recognize the 100th birthday of Dorothy M. Robinson of Troy, New York. Dorothy, we love you. Happy birthday, and many more to come. And I want some of those genes. Happy birthday, Dorothy. Further discussion, questions? I always admire Dorothy. Bethel Baptist, they are just incredible, their choir, and Dorothy was a huge part of that choir. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes. Resolution 18 passes.
Thank you. 19 and 21 passed earlier. Resolution 22.
Resolution 22, resolution appointing commissioners of deeds for the city of Troy. Council President Mantello.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Councilmember Gully. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Ash McPherson. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes. Resolution 22 passes.
Thank you, Maria. Last but not least, Resolution 23.
Resolution 23, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an intermunicipal and agreement with Capital Region BOCES for the provision of information technology and cybersecurity services to the city. Council President Mantello at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Councilmember Gully. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Men. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes. Resolution 23 passes.
Thank you, Maria. Real quick, a couple housekeeping. As I mentioned earlier, Councilmember Ash McPherson, Councilmember Soriento are going to be scheduling public safety, public utilities. The hearings, please put those on your calendar. At the February 17th Finance, Andy is going to give an update on the ARPA funds, where we've been with the funds, where we are now, and moving forward in terms of neighborhood meetings. And Mayor, did the portal go live today, the web and the input form?
Yes, it did at troynow.org. Went live today.
Very good.
And it will evolve. It's not completed yet. It'll evolve throughout the course of the process.
Thank you. Any other outside of the weather? Councilmember Ash McPherson.
Mayor, can you just give us a little information on it? On the portal?
The portal is where an application form resides for applications for ARPA funding. We will also post all of our reports to Treasury. The final rule and interpretations of the rule will be posted on there. Events will be announced on there. It's essentially there to keep people apprised of what's going on and to provide an avenue for input.
Thank you. And no problem. And Councilmember Ash McPherson will have more information by the February finance, but the big thing we want to hear from organizations, residents on the public input form and businesses. All right, further discussion, questions?
Council President,
Yes,
in
Councilmember
looking
Go.
at my calendar, I believe I will try to set up a general services meeting for the 16th of February. I have to get confirmation that the necessary parties would be able to be there. But if you just want to tentatively put that in your calendar, I would respect and appreciate it because I think that's a day I'm going to go for.
Thank you, Councilmember Gully. Any other announcements?
Council
Councilwoman
President,
Steele.
Yes, Councilmember Steele.
not an announcement, just a polite request, respectful request, that in the future, the council be apprised of any good news items. That would be helpful. And I think it's a matter of courtesy. Thank you.
Absolutely. I thought that went out, Councilmember Steele. Seamus, I'll make sure that that goes out in the future. We're all just getting our bearings. Thank you. Further discussion, questions? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion, Councilmember Gully. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Councilmember Conley Wilson. Any discussion? Be safe out there. I have to drive. I may have to leave my car here or hunker down here. Mayor, how's the route look to my house? Can you guess, Alter?
Wet and increasingly slippery.
Thank you. Oh,
Take an Uber.
thanks, Mayor. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you. Good night.
All right, take care, everybody. Have a great night. Stay out of the snow.
Bye-bye.